My name is Amala George and I come from Anand, Gujarat. My mother was the first in our family to take the covenant, which she made in 2019. Since then, I too have been living a life of covenant, not because I had any special requests, but simply because I trusted and followed what my mother taught me. When it came time to choose a college for my MSc, I prayed and asked my Holy Mother for guidance. She suggested a college and I enrolled there. But from the very beginning, I faced many difficulties. One day, a teacher named Dina called me aside and told me, "I will make sure you fail. You will not succeed, no matter what." Her words shook me deeply. I had never had any interaction with her before, so I couldn't understand why there was such hostility toward me. I had always been a good student, but after that encounter, fear took over and I couldn't concentrate on my studies. When the exams came, I was so anxious that I forgot everything I had learned. I went to the exam holding the covenant locket, telling my Holy Mother, "Mum, I can't continue. I want to quit. I can't handle this pressure anymore." Just as I was about to hand over my blank answer sheet, the invigilator approached me and said, "Write whatever you know." In that moment, I felt as if my Holy Mother herself was speaking through them. Encouraged, I began writing. Miraculously, as I wrote, I felt as if someone was guiding me and telling me the answers to each question. When the results came, I was stunned. I had not only passed, I had become the university topper for that semester. By God's grace, I continued to top in the following semesters as well. In the final semester, we had to complete a 6-month dissertation. My guide for the project was an atheist and strongly disliked my devotion and church attendance. She began to make things difficult for me, overburdening me with tasks and asking me to start work at 7 a.m. every day. I couldn't agree to that because I wanted to attend Holy Communion in the mornings. I respectfully requested to work in the evenings instead and make up the time. Things got even harder when a PhD student under that same guide abandoned his project halfway. The teacher gave me the responsibility of completing both his work and mine. I was under immense pressure. No matter how hard I tried, my guide would keep rejecting my work. My friends mocked me, saying, "You go to church and pray all the time. Where is your God now?" But I stood firm in faith and replied, "My God has a plan for me, a plan for my good. Even if I cry today, I believe he will fulfill it in his time." I cried and prayed for months. With just 3 months left to finish both projects, I was lost and overwhelmed. I always kept the locket of Kreupasanam Mother close to me while studying. Whenever I had doubts, I would talk to her. As if she were right beside me, she felt like my own mother. One day, while working on my laptop, a research paper unexpectedly popped up. I hadn't even searched for it. I opened it, began reading, and felt the Holy Mother speak in my heart. Use the method in this paper. I followed that direction. In just 3 weeks, I completed my project. Within another 2 weeks, I completed and submitted my entire dissertation. When the final results came, not only had I passed with excellent marks, but I was awarded a gold medal at the university level. I had become the university topper once again, the highest scorer ever in the microbiology department. I believe it was the Holy Mother who helped me achieve that. After finishing my master's, I wanted to pursue a PhD, but I was unsure about the subject or future opportunities. I prayed and asked the Holy Mother to guide me. Around that time, many of my friends told me that the government had stopped providing research funds and that I shouldn't wait or expect a fellowship. Their words saddened me deeply. But right at that time, Father began the daily bread prayer here. I used to attend the daily bread prayer regularly there. I would cry and pray to my Holy Mother, "Mother, I have no other help. I'm waiting for the government fund. Either I must begin my PhD or I must clear a competitive exam within this year. Otherwise, I'll lose an entire year." I wept and continued in prayer. As a result, within 6 months, the fund was opened and I was informed that I could apply. When I went to the university and met the head of the department, they told me all my documents were still with the university and that I would need to go and collect them. I went and was told that I would receive all my certificates within 2 days. When I asked the Holy Mother which subject I should choose for my PhD, I was led to neuroscience, a field that had no connection with the microbiology I had studied. The teacher questioned me, saying, "How will you get admission? The subject you studied has no link with neuroscience." I became very anxious and discouraged. I was also required to submit a project proposal, but whatever I wrote seemed incorrect. Feeling desperate, I held my Holy Mother's Covenant locket and prayed, "Mother, Christmas is coming on the 25th. I have to submit my final application on that day. Please help me write the proposal." As I began writing, I felt as though someone was dictating it to me, guiding my thoughts word by word. I included everything I had received through that divine inspiration. I finished the proposal and submitted it to the government on December 25th. On the printed copy, I wrote, "Not by merit, but by grace." Because, based on my educational background, there was no logical reason for the central government to fund my research in that subject. My only hope was my Holy Mother. In the daily bread service, Father often encouraged us to pray with our documents. Following his words, I prayed over all of mine. I was in Gujarat and couldn't personally take my documents to Kreupasanam, but I told the Holy Mother, "You can travel anywhere. You must go on my behalf. I will do whatever you say. I depend on you alone." Then, on February 14 at 8:25 p.m, I received an email from the central government stating that your fund is sanctioned and you may now apply to any university in India. I began praying again. "Mother, which university should I choose? Who should be my guide? How should I move forward? I still want to attend Holy Mass daily, so I want a university near a church." Since childhood, my parents had taken me to church regularly. In response to my prayers, I selected a university. But halfway through, I gave up. Then my Holy Mother urged me, apply again to the same university, but this time apply to the neuroscience department. I searched through the faculty profiles and stopped at one professor's page. Immediately, I felt a strong prompting. "Send your email to this, sir." So I followed that prompting. I attached my project proposal, CV, and all my documents in PDF format. Before hitting send, I prayed the apparition prayer and touched the covenant locket on the laptop screen and prayed, "Mother, be present before this mail reaches him." As soon as I hit send and before I could even close my laptop, the professor called me. I was stunned. He said, "I haven't read your documents yet, but I've already received these documents before." This surprised me even more because I had just prepared my CV 2 days earlier and hadn't shared it with anyone else. I asked him how he had received it. He said a lady named Vandana brought them to me. I didn't know anyone by that name and had never given my documents to any such person. When I told this to my mother, she said, "That is Kreupasanam, Mother. You had asked Holy Mother to be there before your mail arrived, and so Holy Mother went." From then on, I truly believed it was the Holy Mother herself who had gone ahead of me. The professor then told me, "You may come visit the university. You can continue here only if you're comfortable." I visited and saw all the facilities. I liked everything. I made just one request to the professor. "I want to go to church every day. Do you have any objection?" Even though the professor was Hindu, he replied, "No objection at all. In fact, I go to church every Sunday myself." At that moment, my heart overflowed with joy. My admission process was completed smoothly, with Sir himself taking the initiative at every step. I will be officially joining next month. I had initially thought that gaining admission into a regular university would be enough, but my Holy Mother had something far greater planned for me. Even though I had no medical background, she opened the way for me to pursue my PhD in the Department of Neuroscience at a medical college. The project I'm working on is a central government-funded medical research project conducted jointly between India and Australia. Sir even told me, "If you ever need to go abroad for the project, I'll make sure you have that opportunity too." I offer my deepest thanks to my Holy Mother and Holy Son for providing me with everything. My mother and I used to do missionary work together. We would distribute Kreupasanam newsletters to people of all castes. Before handing them out, we would pray the rosary and ask the Lord that the papers reached those who truly needed them. We would say, "Lord, lead us to the ones who are meant to receive this." Before offering the newsletter, we would always ask the person if they were comfortable accepting it or had any objections to receiving it. We took their permission to ensure the newsletters wouldn't go to waste. Only if they agreed, we would give it to them. Personally, one by one. There are several slum areas near where we live. We would cook food at home and take it there to distribute it among the people. They would receive us with such joy, saying, "God sends you exactly when we need food." Hearing that filled our hearts with happiness. We also used to collect old clothes, carefully wash, iron, and fold them neatly before giving them away. In the same spirit, we would visit the sick, pray over them, and I would apply the covenant oil while praying for their healing. My mother has also taken a covenant, and we already have 2 powerful testimonies through it.
Time I took the covenant in 2019, not for any specific intention, but purely out of love for Jesus, to grow closer to my Holy Mother in Jesus and to help my daughter become more devoted to them. At that time, my daughter had scored good marks in her exams, but as time passed, she started to believe she could achieve things on her own. I would gently remind her, without my Holy Mother and Jesus, we have nothing in this life. I would often tell my children, I haven't earned or stored up anything for you in this world, except for my faith in Jesus and my trust in the Holy Mother. Let that be your strength. My greatest desire was for my daughter to remain close to the Holy Mother. That was the first blessing I received through the covenant. The second was personal healing. I had been struggling with severe acidity, but after praying with the covenant oil, I was completely healed. Later, my daughter was involved in a car accident. By the grace and protection of the Holy Mother, she was safe. We feared there would be legal complications and a case filed against her. We had even taken the person involved in the accident to the hospital, but when we got there, that person was completely fine. By the intercession of the Holy Mother, the case was peacefully settled without any compensation or legal issues. Through Jesus and the Holy Mother, we have received many big and small blessings. All thanks and praise to the Holy Mother and to Jesus.
Psalm 56:10-13 says, "In God, whose word I praise, in the Lord, whose word I praise, in God I trust, I shall not be afraid. What can man do to me? O God, I must perform my vows to you. I will render thank offerings to you. For you have delivered my soul from death, yes, my feet from falling, that I may walk before God in the light of life." This scripture beautifully reflects the covenant life testimony of 2 faithful women. This daughter named Amala and this sister named Jaya are testifying to the great experiences of God in the covenant life under the protection of the Kreupasanam Holy Mother. Among them, the testimony of Amala stands out as an exemplary covenant testimony. From beginning to end, she constantly sought the Holy Mother's guidance for every decision, every turning point. The Holy Mother responded by communicating with her, sending messages and opportunities, and Amala in turn shaped her life around those divine instructions. She shared her struggles during her master's studies. Though she was raised spiritually from childhood and lived faithfully within the covenant, her journey was filled with hardship. Much like the scripture says of Joseph, a ruler came to Egypt who did not know Joseph. Amala too was placed under teachers who did not understand her nor recognize her qualities. Instead of receiving support, she faced rejection. Instead of kindness, she encountered opposition. One teacher, Dina, made her life especially difficult. But Amala testifies, "My Holy Mother held my hand and made me a university topper. Her thesis guide offered no guidance and even gave her additional work, a whole thesis project left incomplete by another student. This guide, an atheist, disapproved of Amala's commitment to attending divine liturgy and burned her further, trying to disturb her spiritually and mentally. When Amala went into the exam hall, fear overwhelmed her. She couldn't remember anything and was about to submit a blank paper. But then, the invigilator gently said, 'Sit down and write whatever you know.' In that moment, Amala felt the Holy Mother's presence. She says, 'Answers began flowing through my ears. I heard them and wrote them down. When the results came, she passed with a gold medal.' Later, when it was time to submit her thesis, she didn't know what to write. She turned to the Holy Mother and asked, 'What should I do now?' Amala says the Holy Mother showed her a paper on the internet, one she hadn't even searched for. The Mother instructed her to use the methods from that paper, and then, in just 3 days, Amala completed a thesis that typically takes a whole semester. It was recognized as one of the best in the university, earning her another gold medal. Amala reflects, not by merit, but by grace. He says, 'When I had nothing left, when I gave up, my Holy Mother stirred my heart, awakened my mind, and moved my hands to work. After this, she desired to pursue a PhD, but once again, she sought her Holy Mother's guidance. She was directed to choose neuroscience, a subject unrelated to her background in microbiology. Many questioned her. How will you get admission? Who will take you? Which guide will consider you? But Amala had no answers. She says, "This is not my decision. It is my mother's communication. This is the essence and great specialty of covenant life. When we remain faithful to the covenant, the Holy Mother communicates clearly, not only through words and prayer, but also through people, events, moments, and actions." Amala continued to face obstacles. When she went to collect her certificates, she was told they weren't available, only to then find them readily provided at the university. Then came the challenge of securing government funding. The funds had been suspended, and she also needed a good professor to supervise her research. Worried, she prayed again. The Holy Mother told her to pray with her documents during Father Joseph's daily bread. As Father blessed the prayer intentions, Amala lifted her documents in faith. Shortly after, she received a message to search for neuroscience researchers. As she began browsing professor profiles, she was inexplicably drawn to one specific name. She says, "Everything pointed to that one name, as though someone had beautifully arranged it for me." She prepared her CV, ready to take the next step. While preparing her application, this daughter made one simple request to her Holy Mother. "Before I send this email, please go ahead of me and remove every obstacle." That was all she said. There's a reason many lovingly call her Journey Mother, the mother who travels. This daughter testifies, "My Journey Mother goes before me and accomplishes what I cannot. She travels ahead and prepares the way." Before she could even send her CV or close her laptop, she received a reply from the professor. The professor said, "I have already seen your CV. A woman named Vandana had brought it to me, but to this day, no one knows who Vandana is." She was never found, Vandana. The professor invited the daughter to visit. She went, and she liked everything about the place. And so, this daughter began her PhD studies in a medical college. She testifies with conviction, "Every step of my journey was lived in faith with my Holy Mother. I never missed the divine liturgy, the daily bread prayers led by Father Joseph, or the meditations. I prayed with faith and longing. That is why I received such clear direction from my mother." Indeed, the Holy Mother gives us strength and courage to walk through even the most difficult paths. This testimony is a beautiful example of the divine protection that is found only in the life of covenant. Let us present this testimony with folded hands, giving heartfelt thanks to the Holy Mother and the Holy Son for the abundant blessings poured out upon this daughter and her family.
Extraordinary experiences of God can now be yours. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel yet, subscribe now, share this video with your friends, and become a true disciple of the Lord.